And here we're walking into the Rue the Alzette Street, which is the main, one of the main streets in Esch. It's definitely in the main street in the centre of Esch. It's almost a kilometre long, and it's the longest shopping street in Luxembourg. I'll be just pointing out different buildings on the way down. This is actually the 20th of April, so it's the first day after the confinement, but we have to be more specific. It's actually the builders that are allowed to go back to work. There are some shops that can open that are selling tools or gardening tools, gardening stuff, and obviously supermarkets where you can buy essentials. They're allowed to be open. Bakeries, pharmacies. Now here on the right, that's the Brill School, and actually the building on the right is an extension, and the original one is the looks like light grey. It's actually a kind of a bluish grey. There you have the Theatre of Esch, and that's a square that has been changed a couple of years ago. Now you can basically lie there on the lawn, but not during confinement days. And parking underneath. And you see there on the light poles the sign for the Esch 2022, which will be the cultural city of Europe, Esch-sur-Alzette. That's the E22 that you see underneath. You might be able just to see it. And there you can actually probably see it better on the building there, E22. And that's the marketing campaign, Remix Culture. And it's actually the, different towns and cities from the region that are getting together, but it's under the name of Esch 2022. I just hope that they're not getting too much of a delay for preparing everything because of the confinement. But a special thought there for Galway, because Galway is the cultural city of Europe 2020. So you can imagine that they have a grand time, not because of all the artists who can't come, because of all the everything that was meant to go on, all the tourists that were meant to go to Galway. And now it's just very unfortunate. I don't know what will happen there. Haven't really heard of anything. We'll have to check out. Maybe I will give you some more information in a later video. And yeah, this is, as said, the main shopping streets. You have chemists, you have banks, you have cafes, restaurants, hotels, and it's obviously there are cars crisscrossing. Now this is already a lot more movement than there was last week, because you walked through here and there wasn't much. But now obviously you'll probably be seeing more trucks and cars delivering as well. But the city of Esch has to, and hairdressers as well. There are orthopedic shops, shoe shops. Just going back to the Esch has the same problem than many other inner cities, that the shops are basically leaving the centre of town, and so they have started a project in Esch called Clare, where the people that have an interest in opening a business in Esch can actually get in touch with the city of Esch and find some kind of an arrangement for startup for new businesses to have reduced rent for the shops that are empty, so that they can start their business on lower rent. And they're actually very interesting buildings. And there is actually a publication that is about to come out in July. One of the people producing the book is Dennis Scuto, and he's actually a history professor. And yeah, there's a lot of information in it. I will give you the link on top, so you can actually have a look. There are different videos that they made about the buildings, about the history of Esch. So if you like to have a little more details about Esch, you can have a look at that. And that's the Namur, which is a pastry shop. Very good. And yeah, travel agency down there. And there are obviously the big names that you find everywhere in every city. Esch, just for your information, has some 36,000 people living here. It's the university city of Luxembourg, and the campus is actually on Belleval, but there are different parts that are in the Val-Verdange, and but the main part is Esch-sur-Alzette, and then there are buildings going on here. Was actually a building that caught fire, well, actually was burned down, and it took ages to restart building. Yeah, there you see the deliveries going on. There's a bakery, and yeah, here on the right, on the left, there was a little shopping, a little shop. Yeah, it's just like yeah, you see those lights that they're actually quite interesting. They are to keep in mind that Esch has a steel background, Arbed, ARBED, and yeah, they got together with a couple of years ago, and they became Arcelor, and then they were bought up by Mittal, and then they became Arcelor-Mittal, the biggest steel producer in the world. And yeah, those light poles, they always go down a little more, bend a little more down to the right, to the middle, and oh yeah, by the way, the Alzette River or Creek goes under this pedestrian street. And now we're getting to the last part of the Alzette Street. It actually used to continue further after the Justice of Peace, which is the building all the way down in the middle. And yeah, a couple of years ago they changed the name of that street to Helen Buchholz, and so the Alzette Street basically stopped by the Justice of Peace. Yeah, there's stuff out for a bin collection here, just outside the chemist. Yeah, people, they can put it outside and then the city comes and picks it up. but it's still rather quiet for the first day after the strict confinement. And now, as said, some companies are allowed to work, are allowed to open, but the cafes and the restaurants, they're still closed. It's actually cool enough cool enough to hold the camera. Yeah, and here we're getting to the main square, which is a market square as well, and where you have the administration of the city of Esch. And as said, there's the Justice of Peace down there, and under here there is a parking as well. So just turn around so you can have a look. Yeah. So here we are. Stay safe, stay home, and God bless.